Welcome to the Artist Academy podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Earhart, and I am so excited that you're here to catch the weekly replay of my laid-back yet very inspiring conversations with other full-time professional artists. The purpose of this series is to show aspiring artists that it is completely possible to have a great career in the arts. And if you ever want to tune in and have your questions answered in real time by myself or featured guests, then just check out the schedule over at facebook.com/groups/Artist Academy every Tuesday to catch us on live. I'll see you there. This episode is sponsored by the Artist Academy Advanced Membership, a program for artists who want to up-level their art game by taking it from a hobby or a side hustle to a full-time six-figure art business. With weekly trainings that include step-by-step proven art business techniques, plus painting tutorials from yours truly and other guest artists who are masters in their field, you will be well equipped to learn and grow into the highly skilled and highly profitable artist you know you're meant to be. I've figured out what it takes to build my own six-figure art business, and now my heart is set on teaching aspiring artists like you to do the same. It's not hard, but it does require your time and dedication. So if you're up for the challenge, go to advancedmember.com. That's advancedmember.com to learn more. Welcome to episode number 4 of the Student Spotlight series, where every Monday I interview my amazing Artist Academy Advanced students to get to know them better, give them direct advice on their art business, and so I can get feedback on how to be a better teacher. This week I'm doing 2 separate student interviews. The first is Rachel Wysocki, and then Hailey Mae Scott as our second guest. So let's start with Rachel, who joined the Artist Academy when it very first opened. I remember having a call with Rachel almost exactly a year ago today. We talked about her art business and how she just found out she was having a baby, and since then I've watched and helped her guide through her first year of taking her art business seriously, all while navigating motherhood. If you're a new mom or hope to be one day, then I hope this episode inspires you and shows you that it's totally possible to keep painting and keep working towards your goals even with those extra responsibilities. But let me know what you think of this first Student Spotlight interview with Rachel Wysocki. If you could kind of just tell a little bit about your art journey so far. I know a bit about it already, but because we talked almost a year ago. It's been almost a year ago exactly that I've talked to you last. Or it might have been a year ago exactly. And so
I think it was a little more too, but I don't really remember.
I know.
A lot's happened.
I know. You've been with me for a year. That's so amazing.
I know.
So if you could just start by saying how you got into the arts and just a little bit about where you are now, and talk about this past year about birthing a child and all of that stuff. And then we can go into all the other things.
Okay, perfect. So I was always into art as a kid. My family did a lot of projects. They weren't a rich family, so when we would have birthdays and stuff, my mom would make these cardboard cutouts, and then we would do tissue paper and glue it onto it to make the colors and stuff. So it would be Beauty and the Beast, but it would all be glued tissue paper. So stuff like that. She sewed and all this stuff. So I always, we always did art as a family. But then in high school, I was really into art at high school, but I got declined from all art colleges. So they were you have no talent. Try doing something better. Stuff like that. Being in New York City, it's really hard.
Oh my gosh, I bet.
Because there's so many talented people, and I don't know. I just thought, let me paint a sky, and everyone's that's not mind-bending enough. You need to be super cool.
Out there.
Yeah. So I ended up going to architecture school for 3.5 years, which was a lot of fun. It was very interesting. A lot of all-nighters. You have no life. But it's still I would take a lot of art classes as electives and stuff like that. So eventually I was like, this isn't what I want to do. So I stopped. I worked for a while, and then eventually, was it 6 years ago I went back? I went back. I was like, you know what? If I'm going to go get my college degree, I'm going to go for art. I'm just going to do it. It's what I want to do. And everyone was like, as long as you get your college degree. It's like, okay, fine. So I did it. I was very happy I did. It honestly, like, it started me with oil paint. I love to paint with oils. It's a slower process, but it's a lot of fun. So fast forward. Now I'm working full time because no one likes to be starving, and I have a husband and I have a baby who's laying on the floor looking at me like, "What are you doing?" And I really believe in the like if you put your mind to something or if you ask the universe for something, it comes to you. Like I was always following you on Instagram, you and Brooke Cormier, and I was like, they're so talented. I'm like, I could be doing this. I know I'm talented enough, and they're killing it. Like, it would be awesome if we could be friends.
Yeah.
And then you started the challenges and stuff, and I was like, oh my god! And now here I am talking to you. So it all works out that way. I feel like if you put it out in the universe, it will come back.
Yes, exactly. And now we're friends.
The Artist Academy is great. It holds me accountable.
Okay.
Because before I was like during the year, like I would kill it for like 3 months, and then I would be like gone for like a month or two, and it's more like I was getting up at 4 a.m. during Christmas season, like knocking out commissions, before work because I was coming home and I would be too tired. So I was like, I'll get up early and do it that way. But then after that, like it just fell off again, and I go through these phases where I'm just looking at it, I'm like, I should really be working on that.
Yeah.
I should be doing that. And I would leave it out so I would stare at it and it would annoy me eventually that I'd work on it. But the Artist Academy really like, all right, everyone's killing it right now. Like,
I know.
You're like, I gotta be doing something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. True. The whole group motivating each other kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like and seeing like Austin in there every day.
Oh, I know.
Like
He is like, I'm like, all right, Austin, calm down. I need to add a post to here.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So it helps keep you accountable. So what are you doing right now? What are you working on right now? What are your goals? What's happening? I love the owl thing behind you. Yes, that was like perfect positioning.
I love it too, but I don't know, something about it is just it's not making me happy. I don't know. I have a lot of work to do on it still. But it's getting there.
It's super cute. So I know that you've done a couple like albino series kind of a thing, and then you've been into the rainbow kind of a thing. What are you working on right now?
So the albino ones, I had a lot more that I was supposed to do, but I had trouble getting in touch with the people whose photos they were.
Yeah.
So I kind of backed away from that. I'm like, I don't, if anything does happen, I don't want to get sued.
Yeah.
So I started going towards photos that I took when I was on vacation. So, the lemur that I did, the kudu, all that stuff, they're all my own photos. And it really makes you feel different when it's your own stuff. I was working, they're kind of colorful, but I was trying to do, like, work with color theory a little more, like with complementary colors and see if, like, that expressed anything. I did the monkeys, which I really liked. I was trying to go for where they were hugging and embracing was the warmest spot, and then as it got out, it went colder. Yeah. So I don't know, trying to add more meaning and things that I'm feeling with the colors.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully people got it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah, and you did like a mother-baby thing, and that's kind of like where you're at right now, too.
Yeah, that one's sold.
Oh, good.
I was so excited. That was my first. I've done a lot of commissions, so it's a lot different when it's like, I painted this because I wanted to paint it, and now somebody likes it enough that they want to purchase it. It like makes you feel cool. I don't know, it feels really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Awesome. Okay. So, what do you need help with right now? Like, what's going on?
I feel like I've gotten a good flow on Instagram enough where I'm like posting. I know, like in my head, I'm like, okay, I have to have content Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Like today, I went live and I posted yesterday, so I'm like, some weeks I'm like, if I post on the weekend, I'll be okay for the rest of the week if I miss one day.
Yeah.
But TikTok, I'm having a hard time with because I don't have enough. Like I have enough time every night to paint ish, give or take.
Yeah.
I try to paint five nights, 5 to 6 nights a week. So
Okay.
TikTok is really hard because I feel like you have to keep up with the trends to,
Yeah.
in mixed with. So I've been like trying to supplement with some videos of my baby. But
Yeah.
I don't know if that's confusing to people or if I should just stick with art stuff because I'm like, they want to know about you,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah. I think a perfect ratio is something like your art the majority of the time and then your
mhm.
family like some of the time. And I think that's
Yeah.
perfect cuz I mean with my stuff as well, like people are here to see the cool art. And I'm like, okay. So I just give them the cool art and I'm like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
here's a picture of me and my mom." And like, "Here's a picture of this."
It's so cute. I was like, oh my God.
I know. I woke up and it's like that time of the month right now too. So I was like, like writing this out. I was like, Mom. Anyway, a little bit of
Dude.
personal stuff.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's exciting. I feel like you listen to a lot of business podcasts, and I listen to murder podcasts when I paint. It's really weird.
That's what my friend Emily
But
does too. She's like
yeah,
comedy, murder mystery kind of thing.
yeah. So, but I do listen to some art books when I've run out of episodes, and like they were kind of like, the people you want to support you, not like they may not like jump at first, but eventually they will catch on. But it's the strangers that really like want you to succeed.
Yeah.
Like, because I like people that I knew a long time ago or I was acquainted with, like they're the number one people coming to me going like, hey, you're doing a really good job, or hey, I really like your artwork, or here, let me get a commission. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah, it's like
cool.
they kind of come out of the woodwork. You're like, oh, I haven't talked to you in 10 years, but thank you. Like, perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So I love that you said TikTok because this week our focus is TikTok. And I'm going to be
Yay!
going and basically just like asking like you guys to post today and just like send me a link to your videos and we're going to
Mhm.
all like overanalyze each other's videos. And I'm going to show you
Okay.
guys like what's the good, like maybe you need more lighting and or maybe you need stuff because like I overanalyze everything on TikTok and like there's not really like a set formula to go viral, but I truly think there are certain things you can do that will drastically up your viewing content or your
Yeah.
like views and your comments and everything.
Oh, the
So,
one video I had that went viral was when I painted my pregnant belly.
oh yeah.
And I was so hormonal at the time. So I was like, at first it was like I was getting a lot of compliments, and then they were like these little like punk 12-year-olds, and they were like, "Are you having twins? You're so huge." Like that's one. I'm like, do you even know what a pregnant woman looks like? Like I don't know, but
Yeah, that's so, and I'm glad you mentioned that too because I just literally just had a friend this past weekend that was like, yeah, like my sister did, we were all eating out for dinner and I was like, where's your sister? And she's like, she doesn't want to come out. Like she actually got like attacked on TikTok today, and so she's like feeling really down. I'm like, what? Like no, like
yeah,
it just so comes with it. Like the kids
yeah,
are stupid.
yeah,
Like
no. And
there's,
honestly, it's surprising because I find it now it's more the adults.
oh really?
Because I posted a video, it ended up almost going viral. Not really. It's of my son because he's a really big baby. Like he's 6 months, but he's wearing 12 months. He's just
Oh,
huge.
yeah.
Yeah, but like long. So when he was 2 months, almost three, he was already sizing into 6 months. So there's like wraps that you put them in to keep them tight, so when they wake up, they don't scare themselves.
Oh yeah.
But he was so big that I couldn't find anything. So it was like it almost looked like a straitjacket. So
Yeah,
it was
like
like
a
just like a
swaddle.
wrap to keep his arms down,
Yeah.
So the moms were coming out like all over, like, why are you doing that? Why would you harm your baby like that? And I was just like, delete, delete. Like anyone, I
Yeah.
answered one person, I was like, this is why, like, there's a scientific reason behind it. And then after that, I was like, if you can't read that one comment, bye bye. Like,
Bye.
it didn't bother me anymore. So I
Good.
think, yeah. But everyone has, something to say.
Yeah, everybody, literally everyone, especially, and I've heard like, especially from listening to a bunch of like the Girl Wash Your Face Rachel Hollis books, she's like, the mom crew is just like the savages. They're like, oh, you don't breastfeed, or you don't feed your baby organic stuff, or you don't, have a cloth.
You didn't put a hat on today.
Exactly. It's like, oh. I also think like, and on TikTok, on Instagram, and on everything, like, if you're not getting hate comments, you're not big enough, is what I tell myself. Like, if I'm getting zero criticism, I'm not reaching enough people. And, like, I actually just thought that here recently on Instagram, because I was like, I haven't received any messages lately in the past couple of months that are, like, negative at all. And I'm like, I'm thankful, but I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, do I need to, like, up my Instagram game anymore? Like, I, like, bring on some hate comments, because I really think that, like, if you're not getting hated on, you're just not being seen by everyone, or you're vanilla. And I'm like, I don't want to be vanilla. Somebody disagree with me. Like,
yeah, it's true, because I in college, I have ideas for other crazier pieces that aren't just animals and, they're humans with animal heads or weird stuff that I dream about. So that's why I'm like, but people were like, they loved it or they hated it. And I'm like, any response is a good response. Yeah. Like, if they just don't feel anything, like just looking at your painting, then is it art?
Yeah, exactly. You want them to make them feel something. Yes. I'm actually working on this, like, penguin on a cloud thing.
I love it. That is so cool.
It was, what's funny about this too, it's like I had this idea in my head and I was like, ooh, this is a little out there. I don't know about this. And I was like, so I started it, and then Ryan came home, my husband, and he was like, what are you working on? I was like, it's going to be a cloud with, stairs and little penguins. He's like, oh, okay. I'm like, okay. He didn't flinch. Like, it's not too weird. But I was like pacing around, like, this is kind of weird. Like, what are people gonna say? But I love it.
I feel like the husbands are the sounding board.
Yeah.
Like, if they don't think it's too out there, then you're like, okay, like, non-artsy people will kind of get it.
Yeah, I know. He's like, it's cute. I'm like, okay, good. Exactly.
No, it's really cute. No, I really like it. I love doing the pet portraits. They're fun because there's such an emotional connection with them.
Yeah.
But, like, you want to paint something that you have an emotional connection with.
Yeah.
Like,
that you're excited to paint, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like,
I was thinking of adding bubbles to this because I don't know, something's missing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. It's very frustrating.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that you said that too. If you're thinking about it, do it. Because then if you don't do it, you might be thinking about it for the next year, which has happened to me before. I'm like, I kind of want to paint this weird thing, but then I don't because I'm just scared. And then I ended up doing it like a year later because it's sticking with me. But yeah, I remember like a month ago or so, you mentioned that your husband was like, hey, it was kind of like your sounding board of like when you asked him how the monkey painting was going. And he was like, I don't know. And you're like, okay, well, I trust him, so I'm going to ask. You asked me about it, and I was like, maybe let's just add a little bit here. But I love that you can ask him, and then he can be like, hey, this is my honest opinion, and you like are like, oh, okay, like maybe something is missing.
I wasn't as nice as that. Oh! I was like, what do you mean?
Okay.
I love the Artist Academy because you can like throw ideas out there, and it feels like college again, because you went to art school, so you're in a room with artists and you're like, hey, what do you think about this, or hey, what do you think about this, and you get like real-time feedback, and it always makes your art better. It never makes your art worse, even if they don't have the same style. So I feel like that's exactly what the Artist Academy is for life. Like,
that's so true. Oh, I love that you said that too. I hadn't even thought about that. I totally get the community support, but it is, it's like you're in a room. Because it reminds me of college, and we all sat around and we all like presented one by one. We're like, what do you think about this? Is what they would ask, and it's like, oh, I don't know. Everybody had a different opinion, but yeah, you're right. It makes it better, and you can choose to do bubbles or feathers or do something completely different. You don't have to listen to them, but it's just the feedback.
It helps the idea wheel.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you should do a monthly crit. Like everyone goes live together, and we like comment. I don't know.
I love that. Let's do it.
Awesome.
See, this is why I'm on here too, getting feedback with you, because my last question on here is, how can I be a better teacher? Like, what do you want to see more?
No, I mean, I really like it. I feel like everyone, they're either very active or they're not active. I find that it's like two different types of students. But I mean, whatever works for people, I feel like watching certain people, like everyone's at different levels too, so everyone's achieving stuff at different times too. Like to watch that growth is like, it makes me feel so much closer to everyone. I'm like, oh my God.
I know.
So I feel like everyone's a little cheerleader. I tell Greg, I'm like, Greg, look at this. And he's like, I don't even know these people, but I'm happy for them too.
I know, it's so funny. Like, I'll be talking to Ryan, and I'm like, oh, Rachel did this. And he's like, who's Rachel? I'm like, it's in the Artist Academy. Like, he's like, oh, cool. Like, okay. But yeah.
I like to paint so many different things. I think I've been painting animals consistently now, but I also did landscapes. I like to do far out stuff. And how do you market that when you're like, you know what I mean? Like if you like to do all these things, like your primary customer is kind of broad.
Yeah. And like, well, look at me too. Like, I'm painting logos and murals and wildlife and then clouds and like all this stuff. And so I think it just makes you versatile. Really. Yeah. And like, I struggle with that too. Even I'm like, if I niche down, I might be able to get like a specific person. And actually recently, I know, but like my niche is kind of like photo op art basically. And I had someone recently reach out to me from Iowa who had so many other options. And she came to me, even though I'm 7 hours away, and she was like, hey, I'd like to hire you. Because in my bio on Thumbtack, actually, it was on Thumbtack. And this was actually my first job that I got off Thumbtack here recently. Yeah. And she's like, I want you because you do photo op art for Instagram. And I'm like, this is the benefit of a niche. But I still do all these other things, I just kind of like, I would just pick like your top like 2 or 3 and list those on like Thumbtack or something and like have that in like your 15-second pitch that we just did. Yeah. And then go with that. But like, you could still do all these other pet portraits and all these other things that you want to do. Like whatever comes. Especially because right now you're like, yep, I will do that. You're paying money. I will do that. Yeah. And it'll just kind of come. I wouldn't really worry about it right now. Really. Yeah.
Honestly, I've been really, really trying to like hunker down and really think about what I would want and what I'm willing to do to get there. Yeah. And I just feel like the more you talk about and put it out there, it's definitely coming back. Yeah. So I just got to do it more. My son is just so loud. Just
do it more whenever you can. Like give yourself a break. Like you're.
Well, I opened up my notebook. I haven't been journaling and writing because I usually make a list of like all the paintings I have that I want to finish, and I hadn't looked at it in a month or two, and I think I only had 2 paintings checked off, and I went back, and now like 9 were done that I finished of ideas that I had. So, the artist cat, that's what it holds me accountable, and I finish things.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. You guys hold me accountable too. Like I'm like, I gotta show up for them. So
it's good. I like it. Good. Yeah, no, I think the monthly crits would be better because I find I love the 100-day challenge, but like
it's a lot.
They're just some days, every day, and just some days you're like, I was up all night with this baby. It's not happening.
Yeah, exactly. And good. And I'm glad you know that boundary too, because I don't think any of us blame you for just being like, hey, I need to get some sleep and take care of a child, which is a little bit more important, really, than creating a painting right now. All right. Well, I'm going to get off here and do some work, and then we're going to get on live with Hailey. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too. I have to go join a work meeting now, so.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Well, good luck with that, and I will see you inside the group for TikTok this week, and then we're gonna do our group critique here soon. Thanks to you.
Yes. Thank you. I'm excited. Okay. Bye, Andrea.
See ya. And that's our first interview with Rachel wrapped up. Now on to the second interview of the day with Hailey Mae Scott. Hailey is such a joy to talk to and have in the group. Seriously, I see myself in her so much. She's so genuine and has such potential. She just needs to unlock it. In this episode, we talk about all the life things that can get in the way of achieving your goals, but how it's never too late to turn your luck around, do the work, and get the results. So let me know what you think of this second student spotlight interview with Hailey Mae Scott. So if you could maybe just kind of start out, I know a bit about your story a little bit, but I would really just love to hear kind of like how you got into the arts and like where you're at now, and also for like any podcast listeners who don't quite know you yet and who want to get to know you, and then we can kind of talk about what you like about the Artist Academy, what I can do better, what I can do for you in your art career, and all the things. But just start with how you got into the arts.
All right, perfect. I honestly feel like art has always been a part of me and a part of my life growing up. Like my parents would always say they'd find me with like a pen in my hand and I would just draw on anything I could.
Oh, like the
And
walls?
not necessarily the
Okay,
walls, but I would draw on like paper, napkins, or cardboard. My dad's always been in like construction, and I was also very talkative when I was little, or I'd ask a lot of questions. And so as he was working on our house, he would try to give me things like to keep me occupied so I wouldn't just sit there and distract him. So one day he gave me a piece of particle board and was just like, here, it's scrap, like color on it, do what you want. So I ended up setting it up in our yard and I drew a rooster on it. And then like he said I used watercolor and marker and like something else. So like mixed medium, but I got it all colored. And then he liked it so much, he entered it into the fair of our town. And I ended up winning grand champion when I was 7. So I feel like that was my little starting point and like gave me confidence as a little kid. Like, oh, I can totally do this. Like, so and it's like I got addicted. And then I would look at VHS tapes and like draw different covers and characters. And I wanted to enter everything into the fair after that. It's like some things did well, some things didn't, but it's something I always did. And then I grew up in southeastern Colorado in a very small like farm town. And then we ended up moving for my high school years to Anchorage, Alaska. And so when we switched schools, they didn't have like any type of an art program or anything like that. So I stopped doing it for a couple years. And it wasn't until I think my junior year, I just started painting again. I just wanted to paint. And so it was really bad. I did just like craft paint on foam boards, like foam poster boards. And of course they all like warped and bent like as the paint dried. And then I started getting like canvas boards and canvases. And then when I started dating my husband, he more so helped me pursue art and was more of the pusher of like, you should actually do something with this. Like, you should keep at it. And so we moved around a lot when we first got married, just following his career. Like, we moved from Anchorage to Washington, and we were there for 2 years. And we moved back up to Anchorage for a year, and now we've been in California. And so it's just been so busy. And when we moved down to California, he was able to support us on his income. And so, like, I haven't had a job since we moved here, and it's probably been like 2 years. So I started painting more often, but then it wasn't necessarily enough for like what he expected. I remember him coming home and being like, I really thought you would just paint a lot more, like without working. And like, that's when I joined the Artist Academy group, because I was like, well, if I'm going to take it serious, then I need like more motivation and people to be around and different things like that. And so that's one reason why I ended up joining. And then 2019 was just so much life happened for us. So I feel like I more so watched the Academy group. Like, I got so ready and like pumped up for fourth quarter. And then a redwood tree fell into our apartment. So we had to be evacuated. And so then, yeah, like it was one thing after another. We ended up moving in with my brother-in-law, and he's 8 hours south of where we are. And so, because California is huge, you don't necessarily think it's that big, but it is massive. I have no idea from like the very top to the bottom how far of a drive it is. But yeah, so we were commuting like for 8 hours, and then in December, like my father-in-law passed away unexpectedly, and so we were up in Alaska, and then we were there for a month, and then we came back into January, and then I found out I was pregnant.
Whoa, I
And
didn't
we
know
were
this.
yeah, like I'm terrible at trying to put in like myself and personality and things into my art, and so like that's definitely a struggle point that I have. But I
But you
enjoyed really
so should
watching.
though. Your personality is so fun. It's like mine. You remind me of me really because I feel like it's just a mirror back because we're always just like hi, like this is who I am. Hello. But
Yeah.
I can understand your struggle. But you should so put more of your personality. People love people who smile. Like that's I'm just set. People love people who smile, and you smile a lot.
Oh, I know, and especially too if I get nervous or I'll giggle or I'll just like I feel like I'm always smiling. Um, well, thank you. That I feel like
Yeah,
that's a huge compliment, though. You
it is.
saying that you see yourself in me, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I could do this.
You
Like,
can. You so can. Like, you just need because like I feel like you as well too. Like back in the day too, when before I started doing this professionally, it's hard to get your mind from like a I'm just gonna live life and paint when I can and like try to paint. Because I remember one time it took me an entire summer to paint. I don't know why my thing goes weird. It took an entire summer for me to just paint a bathroom like my first like mural and I'm in my own bathroom and like I had no like there was just no like get up and go of like no routine, no habit, and I was just like I would work on a little bit here and there, and my boyfriend at the time was like would come home and be like I thought you would get this done faster but it's taken you like 2 months to do this. I'm like it's a lot, and it was, but it wasn't, and so like which would now take me I don't know, a week. Maybe it took 2 months back then. And so I totally get it and how it's hard to make the habit of just doing it, especially when you have other things going on. Like you're not, especially if you're not at home, you're in Alaska and you're just at all these other spaces with all these other people and there's no routine. And now you've got a baby coming. Oh my gosh. So
yes, it's just been a crazy year, and
congrats
so.
though.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's our first. In June, it'll be like our 5-year anniversary. So we waited a couple years to have kids.
Yeah.
Um, and then we were able to move back up where we live in like April 1st. So now we have our own place again. So I was with my brother-in-law for like 5 months. And so that was a whole dynamic too. We were just like in their spare bedroom. And then at first, like I didn't have any canvases or I didn't have anything. Because when the tree fell into our apartment, I was actually visiting my friend in Texas. So like luckily I had a suitcase and I had some clothes.
Yeah.
I felt terrible because my husband's name is also Ryan.
Oh,
so
that's so
right.
funny. Okay. So you're creating mostly right now. What can I do for you in the Artist Academy? So like this week, I think we're gonna go over TikTok, and last week we did Instagram and stuff. Does that work well for you, or do you like more painting based stuff? Do you like more business stuff, social media? Like I'm open to any and all feedback. Whatever you want, let me know.
Honestly, like I feel like whatever you're doing is amazing and great.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like I haven't been more of a fly on the wall, or I haven't necessarily like implemented everything that you've put out. I have a little album with art that I save all your stuff that I see so I can just go to it on Facebook if I need to find something quick. And so that's been great because I do feel like I'm a little slower or I'm not up to par. Like especially last year, I wanted to kick off my website and I wanted all these things done by like fourth quarter. And then it's like the tree happened. Now halted everything. And so I'm still working on like my next thing with I just finished a mousse commission and then I have 2 flowers. So I'm going to take all those to a print shop
I love your
on
flowers.
Tuesday because they're Tuesday to Saturday. So I'm going to take those and actually make prints. And then I'm hoping to launch my website soon.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the biggest thing I'm doing right now.
That's amazing. I love your flowers. Like especially that big giant pink one that you did. Or I think you did a couple
thank
of them.
you.
Yeah, right there. Yes. I love it. I love floral.
Yes, I So anytime I go to like Hobby Lobby or Michael's or anywhere with like a fake flower section, I will sit there and take photos of them in like all these different angles for like 20 minutes. And my husband hates it. He does not like to go to any type of craft store with me because I'm mosey.
Yeah.
um, but then it's just getting different angles, and then I find out what I want, and then when I paint them, I don't think they look like fabric or they look fake. So I guess that's good.
Good. Yeah. Oh, I hadn't really thought about that. Taking photos of the flowers in the store. That's a really good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah. So is
I
that,
enjoy it.
yeah, is that the direction you're wanting to go more? Is like floral, or are you still kind of trying to figure it out, or animals and floral, or?
Yes, I'm thinking
Yes.
animals and floral. Because those are like I started out really painting. I did a lion series. Like I don't have that on Instagram or anything because I was one of those that I would use reference photos from Google.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd piece, there's some that like I'd use multiple references like per lion.
Yeah.
And so I would piece it all together. But I just, told my husband, I was like, well, I don't own the rights to these, so we're going to keep them all or hope you really like them. Like, I don't know if maybe one day I'll paint over them or not, or what I'll end up doing with them, but.
Yeah.
So I started out doing like more details with that, and then I painted the flower, and I just liked the flow of it, and I thought it was a little more simple than fur, and so then I started doing flowers as like my quick painting, like, oh, I could bust this out in like a few days.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it just became something that I actually find myself enjoying.
Oh, good.
And maybe down the road, I have seen different artists incorporate like flowers and animals, but I know I just want to find like my own type of rhythm or how to incorporate those, if it's in the background versus I've seen most of them as like little headdresses or something. So we'll just see, maybe down the road I'll be able to put them all together, but
Yeah, I love it. Just kind of trying things out, and yeah, I think loving it too is just the key to finishing it. That's what I'm noticing. I just did one over the weekend, and I just cannot wait to finish it. I'm so excited with this one, and I think I've gotten so bored with animals because I've done them so long. So just whatever you love to do that. I think you're great at the flower thing. So yeah, what else is new? What else is on your mind? What can I do for you? What's in the works? What's the planning?
right. Well, the main thing is just hopefully I'll be making these prints in the next week because I'll have to send out the moose soon. Because it's going to Tennessee, and so that was kind of a deadline. It's like I need to get this done, and then I was hoping to get prints done or have them at the shop before we started talking, but I mean it just worked out how it did, and with the shop hours and their days too.
Oh yeah.
And still with the coronavirus and everything going on, you can still go in, and I guess I'll just like call them and they'll curbside pick up my paintings and then take them in and scan them, and
Oh, cool.
I don't know, it'll work out some way or another. I've been emailing 2 different shop owners just trying to narrow down exactly where I want to go.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I always just throw out my printer as well because we're here in the Midwest and he has just the best rates and he's so freaking good. If you have a way to photograph them, I highly recommend going to this printer here that I have. If you don't, then I highly recommend going to your local printer. Yeah, and this guy that I have here too, he'll ship for you if you want to do that, and he'll like print your signature on them if that's an option that you want to do, or just use your local one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So you're getting your website up and all of that going. That way, when it comes time for the 4th quarter success plan kind of a thing, which we're going to revamp and do all over again, you'll be ready.
Yes. So I'm due in the beginning of September. So hopefully we can kind of get in a groove before then.
Well, yeah.
We'll see with the baby, but I do want to participate and be more active, especially like if my website's already up and going. I feel like it'll just be a lot easier to jump in, and I can even watch stuff from last quarter, like with the email list, and get things already kind of prepped and prepared beforehand.
Yeah.
Like, even though we're going to be doing that again,
No,
then
do
it's
it ahead
just
of time.
change a couple words or revamp it. Right. So I don't have a huge, like, daunting list. It'll be just a lot easier. Like, oh yeah, well, this is already mostly done. So
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, if anything, you could like write out the emails and stuff and then just like hit send later on, you know?
yes. So I'll do my best to be on top of it.
Yeah, but really that's a perk in like having that the fourth quarter success plan in there already. You can go through it right now and prepare for the end of the year, you know, and it's going to be a little different, but it'll be better in a lot of ways, but it won't be like drastically different. We're going to follow kind of the same plan. So yeah, if you wanted to get in it with now and be prepared, that's perfect. I'm excited for you to get your website up and start making some sales.
Me too. And I felt bad. Like, I had so many people reach out, and they don't necessarily say like, hey, are you making prints of that painting? It's more like, what would something similar be like? And it's like,
yeah.
well, just depends on exactly what you're wanting. Like, if you want a print, that's one thing. Or if you're wanting an original or trying to get more out of them to really narrow down what they're asking.
Yeah.
But I do think having the website will just be a game changer and a lot easier.
It is. And really, like, a lot of people contact me from my website. Like, they don't really contact me as much, like, well, some off of Instagram direct message, but most it's like an inquiry from my website. They just like, it gives you like a level of professionalism, I think, that people and businesses especially will look for if they want to, like, you know, have art within their shop or whatnot. And so yeah, just getting a website up is huge.
I do want to say thank you, though, just like for the opportunity and for pouring yourself into your students, and just for like this, and for allowing us to help grow as well. I feel like so many people don't do this, and it's such an inspiration, and it's very helpful. Like, I would not be where I am today in my art field if it weren't for you.
Oh, that means so much. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I love that. You know, when I started this too, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll help people and it'll be like a good business venture, and like I'll enjoy helping people along the way. And now, like, just with you saying that and with so many others saying similar-ish things, I'm like, I'm so motivated by it. I'm like, you guys are my motivation to keep the podcast going and just keep everything, and seeing your guys' results especially. It's so fun in the beginning. You guys are in the beginning, and I know you guys are like so overwhelmed and like there's so much to do, but it's so fun to watch you guys be like, I got up my website, I made my first sale on my website, and like, oh gosh, it's it's great. It makes my days, and which is also why I wanted to start this Monday morning thing talking to you guys and just like starting my week like that, because it really does make my week talking to you guys and hearing the encouragement and feedback and everything. So thank you for taking the time to say that. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, well, we'll just end it at that. I really appreciate it again, and I will see you inside the group. We're going to start our TikTok training here in about an hour. I'll send you guys an email and everything, and we'll do it later today, and all through the week we'll focus on some TikTok. Are you on TikTok yet? I know it's a lot.
So I got on TikTok, I think last year, just to kind of reserve my name.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have not posted a single thing. And I think I only follow you, and that's it.
That's
like, I didn't even search on it. I've never really played on it. It was like, well, at least I have the name, so it'll match everything. And maybe I'll get to it.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Get your website up first. That's really the most important thing. And then we'll just watch the TikTok thing later. Don't even worry about it. One thing at a time. Okay, well,
yes.
Again, it was super nice to talk to you, and we should do this again in like 6 months or so to have like another checkup.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely, that would be great.
Okay, great. All right, well, have a great day, and I will talk to you later.
Oh, thank you. I hope you do too.
Bye.
Bye.
This episode is sponsored by the Artist Academy Advanced Membership, a program for artists who want to up-level their art game by taking it from a hobby or a side hustle to a full-time 6-figure art business. with weekly trainings that include step-by-step proven art business techniques, plus painting tutorials from yours truly and other guest artists who are masters in their field. You will be well equipped to learn and grow into the highly skilled and highly profitable artist you know you're meant to be. I've figured out what it takes to build my own six-figure art business, and now my heart is set on teaching aspiring artists like you to do the same. It's not hard, but it does require your time and dedication. So if you're up for the challenge, go to advancedmember.com. That's advancedmember.com to learn more. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. If you review our podcast and send a screenshot of that review to me on Instagram, I am at Art by Andrea Earhart. I will then promote your art on my story and tag you as a little thank you for helping me grow this podcast and our Artist Academy community. I have a reach of over 50,000 on Instagram, so this is a little help me to help you incentive. Also, if you ever want your questions answered in real time by myself or featured guests, then just hop on over to facebook.com/groups/Artist Academy to check out the schedule every Tuesday to catch us on live. I'll see you next week.